We're literally priced out of every single life milestone.
You're working harder than ever. Everything costs more.
This might be the only shot normal Americans have left.
I'm going to live in this bell tent while I finish up the 10 by 12 starter cabin.
When I tell you our grocery bill should be illegal, I am like slightly embarrassed / ashamed / appalled to even tell you what the number is.
The amount of debit and credit cards that were declined were astronomical.
If it's not one thing, it's another, it's another, it's another, it's another. Like, you literally don't get a break from anything.
I'm so sick of my life. Everyone is exhausted. Post-pandemic, the world, the exhaustion, the stimulation, the rhetoric.
I feel bad for Gen Z and Gen Alpha or whoever that is, because those people have never known the old world.
I'm slowly coming to the realization that we are the generation that has to do something, and it's one of the most difficult realizations to accept.
One day, you'll own nothing, and you'll be happy. That's the direction we're headed, with never-ending payments and never-ending subscriptions with never-ending price increases. And now, to fix affordable housing, we have the 50-year mortgage plan. It's almost like they want to work us to death. Because to be able to pay a 50-year mortgage loan, I can only imagine they're going to need to raise the retirement age. And if we're going from 30-year mortgage loans to 50-year mortgage loans, I guess we're going to go from retirement age being 67 to retirement age being 87. No thanks. I'd rather live in this. And that's my chicken coop.
Making homelessness illegal in a country whose minimum wage is $7.25 with a median rent of $1,400 is evil.
If you are a poor, like myself, you might be asking the question, how do people have money? How are they affording anything in life? And I'm here to tell you, they're not. How do I know? I'm a barista. I am. And today, the amount of debit and credit cards that were declined were astronomical. I'm talking the highest amount ever in one day that I've had to go up to people and be like, hey, I'm so sorry. Actually, this didn't go through. Do you have another card? And then them all giving me the same answer. Oh, really? No, I don't. And then leaving. Because, like, they're just giving me their cards, hoping, praying, not checking their bank account, just hoping it gets through so they can have a little caffeine to get them through their day. We don't have money. None of us have money, you know? They're just pretending they do, which sometimes works. Sometimes you have a few bucks just to get your coffee. Other times you don't. It was sad. It was a sad day. I also, during the holidays, this is the best tipping season. People love to tip during the holidays. And I know a lot of people feel weird about tipping. That's your business. I will tell you, it is the lowest tipping season I've ever had. And it's fine. It's fine. I'm not mad at it. I'm just letting you guys know where we stand. Economically, it's low. So if you're like, damn, I'm so poor, everyone else has money. We don't. None of us do. We're faking it, baby. We're pretending.
I got my electric bill for the month of November, and it's
People are giving up everything. Life, work, families, everything. And it seems like everyone is tapping out. People are saying enough is enough. What we've gone through is enough. We can do this. We cannot do this anymore. But this is just being controlled by one thing. And that one thing is corporate greed. For the longest time, people don't know that the enemy of America is the people that run the system. Those are the people that wake up in the morning and decide the price of everything. And they are going to be deciding whether you are going to pay your taxes 3 times the way your great-grandparents were paying all those things. Worst of it all, the next people will raise the rent that you should be paying in your house. So since they know that you are going to be running from paying rent, you have a car that you can sleep in, what are they going to do? They're going to pass a law that makes sleeping in a car be illegal, and you'll be arrested for being homeless. And that's just America for you. So when you get to look at how all these things unravels and how all things happen, you just see a ground where we have different players. And the captains, they are playing, what we call a rough game. They are playing a rough game. And they don't care about you. And that's how America is being driven. The corporate greed has made the life of Americans become so much difficult. People are living like hand to hand. You don't even know what you'll hit next. You don't even know the rule that the laws that they are going to be passing. Leave alone that. You don't want to get sick in this economy. You pray that you stay healthy. You pray that you don't need to go to the hospital, because that's just another nightmare that you are going to face. The amount of taxes that American citizens pay, and when you go to check the services in terms of health and everything that they receive, it doesn't match that. All this shows you how greed, or how corporate greed works. On the paper, it looks like it's serving American citizens. But on the ground, that's not the truth. That's not the reality of matter. That's not how it happens. I mean, that's not how it happens. We all know that there are crazy stuffs that are going on. And it takes time. It takes time for you to realize that. It takes time for people to think about that. Because that's just the reality of the matter. And that's just how it goes. Corporate greed has been one of the biggest problems in America. And this is making people to tap out. It making people give up with, everything that's going on. When they get to look at all those things, all those crazy things that are happening, the prices of gases, groceries, and everything, people are just looking at life. People are tapping up. And look, it doesn't just affect the economy. It culminates down to even family. People are losing interest in even family. People don't want to have kids. But ask yourself why. They don't want to have kids. Because it's like a liability in this moment and in this period. So brothers and sisters, I want us to watch this video. And then I'm going to be back. I'll be giving my 2 cents in regards to this end. If you're watching me for the first time, I'm asking you to please subscribe to the channel, join the membership, and really get to see what I can offer you. But until then, let's watch the video and be back.
$300, and it hasn't even been cold yet. Last winter, I was paying up to $700 a month in the winter months. Yeah, $700. So what am I doing this year? I'm going to freeze. I'm keeping my thermostat on 55 when I go to work, and when I come home, whatever room I'm in, I'm going to turn the heat on in that room until it gets warm, and then turn it back again when I go to sleep. Because this is the life of planet Earth. You work just to pay your rent and your heat and your air, whatever the hell it is, okay? And then whatever's left, you get to go food shopping. So today, food shopping is a privilege. If you're lucky enough to have any money left after you pay your freaking rent and your utilities, you get to go buy food. There you go, rant over.
Look, if you all even give a anymore, I don't even understand why. Like, we're literally priced out of every single life milestone, from marriage and children to owning a home and moving out. Like, there's no reason to care anymore. Somebody give me a reason to give a because I cannot find one. We're literally priced out of development. We can't even afford to live. Like, why should I care about anything anymore? Except maybe 20, 30 years from now investing, because there's still a glimmer of hope for that. But we're not even living. We're not even living to live. We're just working to live, guys.
You know why I'm leaving this country? Because no one's going to do anything about this. We just found out some of the most horrific things, which if even a morsel of it is true, it's really bad. And no one's doing anything about it. So for those of you who are like, you should stay and fight, with whom shall I fight this battle? Because everyone's still, boycotting Star Schmucks and McDonald's and holding parades. And I'm not opposed to those things. I'm still doing those as well. But if that's all we're doing, yeah, we're just all going to sit in this escape and watch We are no better than the audience members at the Coliseum. If you decide to actually fight, if anyone decide, and I know, I shouldn't, we need a leader. Great. There isn't one at this time. As soon as the fight actually starts and you guys decide, the majority decides to actually stand up to this shit, give me a call. I'll get on the first plane and come right back and help you out. Until then, I'm out.
Does anybody else just get like weird urges just not to be here anymore? Because that's where I'm at in my life. Like, I'm so sick of my life. And the only reason I'm here is because of my dog. What's up, bub? If I didn't have my dog, I would not be here. And it's really starting to hit me today for some reason. Like, I wish I had, I don't know, friends, family. Just over it, to be honest. I think this is about the truest statement going on in the world right now. I think that everyone is exhausted post-pandemic, the world, the exhaustion, the stimulation, the rhetoric. There is this constant pressure on everyone. And I think like capitalism, end of days kind of thing with like growth. And I'm not for it anymore. It's time to slow the down. I feel like I'm on the slow it down and catch my breath moment. Who's with me?
Does anybody else feel like there must be something real good coming, something real big coming, because all you do constantly is have warfare in your life in every single area? I know it can't be just me, because I've talked to so many people about this. It can't be. Like, if it's not one thing, it's another, it's another, it's another, it's another. Like, you literally don't get a break from anything. And it's constant stress, constant anxiety, constantly with one thing coming at you, and then you resolve that, and there's another one. Then there's another one. Then there's another one. Literally, people can't afford to pay their bills. It's bad in so many different areas. So does anybody else feel that right now, like spiritually, that like something big has to be coming, especially for the people of God, because there's no reprieve from any of this, and it just keeps getting worse, and you just feel like you get no rest, no break? Anybody else? Because it's been like this for me for a while, and I just feel like it's never gonna end. And I know it will, but one day, but it's just so discouraging and so hard, and so many people want to give up right now. Anybody else feel that way? I know you're out there. Somebody else has to feel the way that I do, because this is crazy.
This is the kind of home people love to judge, but in a housing market where a starter home is $350 to $400K, this might be the only shot normal Americans have left. Yep, it's a mobile home, not a luxury condo, not a McMansion, but it's safe, it's affordable, and it won't drown someone in debt. Everyone screams affordable housing, but when we show them the solution, suddenly they're too good for it. Make that make sense. Now we're giving this one a light upgrade, skirting repairs, power wash, fresh paint, a little bit of rehab, just bringing it back to life, but no bulldozers needed. The inside's not great, but it's not destroyed. Most investors would walk away, but we don't. We fix it. Now you can hate on mobile homes all you want, but you know what people really hate? $2,000 of rent and saving nothing. This little home provides privacy, storage, parking, a yard, and no shared walls with other tenants. We don't need more luxury housing. We need attainable housing. Homes normal people can own, not lease forever. Would you live here? Smart move or trash housing?
I live off grid. I started off in a 2-3 person tent from Walmart, like the cheap $30 one. And I recently just upgraded to a 16-foot or a 5-meter bell tent from Stout Tents. It's the double door version. It seems super durable, super sturdy. I did a lot of research on bell tents before picking this one. I'm going to live in this bell tent while I finish up the 10x12 starter cabin. Hopefully it'll be done in the spring. But I got this set up for the most part. Not exactly how I want it, but again, it's getting dark out. So yeah. Over here, I plan on doing like my remote job and keeping my cooking supplies. I got this beautiful antique set from my grandma that her parents supposedly thrifted. That's gonna be one of my projects that I'm looking forward to, is redoing those and bringing them up to snuff, because I don't know how old they are, but they definitely need work. Beautiful, beautiful pieces though. And then I got my little side table stand thing. I'm going to keep my books and like my knitting and my crochet projects to tinker on. And then I just got a little camping cot. Eventually, I want to switch this out for either a queen or a king. I'm not sure. And then this side's just got this extra space right over here. I do have a cutout for a camping stove. I'm not planning on getting a camping stove. I'm just going to tough it out this winter, because I don't want to drop a couple $100s on that and then hopefully turn around next year and buy an actual wood stove for the cabin. The lowest it's been is 22 degrees, and I was perfectly fine in my 0-degree bag. A little bit chilly, but I put my blanket over my head and I was perfectly fine. I do have a negative 25-degree sleeping bag coming in. Can't wait for that. Pretty much just for insurance, and I do like to be on the hotter side. But yeah, this is the long-awaited bell tent, and I'm super excited to finally be in it. It's felt amazing waking up in, and the space is just, it's a blessing. Ironically enough, it's gonna be bigger than the cabin square footage wise, which is crazy to think, but yep.
It feels like we are in an emotional standoff in our society. Everyone needs support, and no one can give it. No one has the space for it. We're all collectively doing terrible. And as a millennial that has, I guess, lived through a lot of once-in-a-lifetime shit, the time I'm living in now feels unprecedented, and I think we're all feeling that. But I sort of say that because I feel bad for Gen Z and Gen Alpha or whoever that is, because those people have never known the old world, and us millennials were the last ones to know the old world, where despite the 2008 financial crisis and all that bullshit and 9/11 and how that changed everything, when I was a kid and when I was a teenager, I was getting older and going into the world with the expectation that more or less I was going to have a normal life, and there was never a thought about anything like this happening like it is now. However, that could have just been me not paying attention to the warnings that were there. But I do feel like everything happening now is mostly unnecessary, with the exception of climate change. That shit was always coming for us, and we were always going to pay for that. And there was always going to be consequences for the way we have lived in a capitalistic society that pretends that we live on a finite planet, and the way we just consume and consume and produce and just make stupid plastic bullshit, and just the way we've destroyed the earth for mass farming and mass factory farming and all sorts of stuff. So there are always consequences, but I think we all are living the completely unnecessary consequences of just greed. Greed and power will be what ends humanity.
I just found out that in order to qualify for CalFresh food assistance in the state of California, you have to bring home for a family of two less than $1,758 a month. The average cost of a one-bedroom or studio apartment here in California is $1,400 to $1,800 for a tiny apartment. So if I bring home $1,800 a month, I can pay my rent and part of my car payment, and that's it, but I still wouldn't qualify for assistance with food. I currently have negative $210 in my bank account. I have no room on my credit cards. I have no money to buy groceries. But I still don't qualify for assistance from a system in which that I have paid my entire life, because I bring home more money than they determine is appropriate for somebody who needs help with food. I'm not sure what poverty index they are using. It's got to be ages old, because they're definitely not taking into consideration how much it actually costs to live here when determining if someone deserves to eat.
Does anybody else have mounting anxiety when faced with having to go to the grocery store, or is it just me? Because like every time I go, I know it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. Everything's going to be more expensive than the last time. My husband does a lot of the grocery shopping for our family, so I'm a little bit insulated from it. But when I do go, it feels like I spend the entire trip being like, what the hell? How is this the price of orange juice? What do you mean coffee is on sale for $18 a pound? Wait a minute, the last time I bought this yogurt, it was 6 ounces and now it's 5.3. And I remember a couple of years ago when it was 8 ounces and now it's 5.3, right? It's the fact that prices are going up. The shrinkflation is increasing. I went to the grocery store today with one of my kids. We had to get a couple of ingredients. She wanted to make scones, so we needed to get some heavy cream. And then there's this vegan chia pudding that she wanted to make, and so we needed espresso powder. And while we were there, we got some yogurt and a couple other things. I got cranberries so I could make a cranberry orange upside down cake. A bag of cranberries was $4. I feel like a year ago it was $1.69 and 3 years ago it was 69 cents. I don't know. I filmed a video earlier today, which I haven't published yet, where I was talking about grocery prices. The Politico has this new poll that came out, like a week ago, asking Americans, what is the thing you are most worried about affording in 2025 going into 2026? And the number one answer was not rent, was not your car payment, it was not your kids' college tuition. It wasn't even healthcare premiums. The number one thing that Americans in the wealthiest nation on earth are worried about being able to afford is food. Food. In the wealthiest nation on earth, Americans, your average American, is concerned about being able to afford to feed their families. And it's everywhere. I feel like it's across the board. I've seen a number of indicators show that depending on what kind of particular grocery you're buying, costs can be up 12% or they can be up as much as 55%. Things like coffee are up 38, 40%. Bacon, ground beef, they've basically doubled. Tariffs account for a lot of the increases. Fertilizer, farm equipment, y'all, those are imported. Everything is more expensive in Donald Trump's America. When I'm spending $3 or $4 for a pack of tofu that used to be a pound and is now 14 ounces or 12 ounces, when a jug of orange juice is $8, when a carton of heavy cream is $8.50, it's just, does this feel like prosperity to you? Does this feel sustainable to you? This is what I bought today, and I spent $43.24. We didn't even need a grocery bag. My daughter and I just carried the food out in our hands.
I'm slowly coming to the realization that we are the generation that has to do something, and it's one of the most difficult realizations to accept. All throughout history, we've learned and watched some of the worst atrocities be handled by groups of people who had to stand up and do something about it. And I think we've been conditioned to be more comfortable observing from a distance than getting rid of our discomfort. Whether you are pro-life or pro-choice or pro-Second Amendment or anti-guns or religious or atheist, we are living in an era where we have to behave differently right now. We've grown up reading about all of these revolutions and all of these stories of these people fighting back against power. We've watched these movies and TV shows telling these great stories about these heroes that got together and fought the odds. And I think we are unfortunately living in the generation that has to be the people who do that. Because every single day we are witnessing more and more evil come out from its hiding place. And I know it's so easy to just hope and wait for someone else to be the first one to do something, but I honestly don't think that we have much time. We're living in an age where we can organize groups of people and communicate with strangers across the world instantly. And I don't know what needs to be done. I don't know how to even begin doing what needs to be done, but I'm willing to try and at least get people together so we can figure it out. Because at the end of the day, I have so much more in common with the pro-life, pro-Second Amendment Christian that lives next door to me than I ever will with the top 1% multi-billionaires of the world. So aside from all of these social issues that we could debate on endlessly, leave a comment and just let me know that I'm not the only one realizing this, because it's honestly a very isolating feeling when just walking around.
So how are we supposed to save money if we're paying $6,000 to $7,000 a month in childcare? How are we supposed to save any money? How are we supposed to, because there's two schools. There's the people who don't work because they can't pay that, and then the people who are paying that and then have like minimal left over. Where's the money going for college? Where's the money going for retirement? Like, I'm lucky that mine's automated and I have a cash balance account, but like, where's it going? Where's it go? How are we saving for vacations? How are we like, if we're not doing it on a credit card, how are we doing this? Where's Susie Orman? Where's Dave Ramsey? Because these people, these fuckers have no idea what we're actually living in. They're like, well, you know, you should save up, buy a beater, never go on vacation, live with your parents. I'm like, that's not possible. Okay, so tell us how we do this. How do we save when we're giving away all of our paycheck to childcare? And you know, if you have kids that are 5, 6 years apart, this is going on for 11 years that you're paying these costs. So how do we do that? I need the finance advisors, not some 25-year-old who won it big in a stock market, to tell us how to really do this. Oh, and then your taxes go up too. My taxes have gone up from $8,000 to $17,000 in 7 years. Didn't budget that. Homeowners insurance, because of all the wildfires, it's affecting us out here in Massachusetts. Didn't budget that. Like, what's going on? And then I just told you about summer camp. That's going to be thousands. Like, answer me, because I really want to know.
When I tell you our grocery bill should be illegal, I am like slightly embarrassed / ashamed / appalled to even tell you what the number is, but I'm gonna. We've been spending on average $1,800 a month for groceries. This is for a family of 4, me, my husband, a 2-year-old, and a 9-month-old. What? Now, I do want to preface a few things. We eat all of our meals at home. Like, we don't eat out. Maybe once a month we do. My husband works from home. I'm at home all day. The girls are at home. So like, we eat 3 meals, 2 snacks at home. We do have some dietary restrictions. My whole family's allergic to dairy. One of them is also allergic to eggs. We do buy things that are like organic, grass-fed, grass-finished, whole foods, fruits, veggies, protein. I'm exclusively breastfeeding, so I do eat a lot, like 3,000 calories a day, 160 grams of protein. My husband's a big dude, like 6'4", 220. He eats 200 grams of protein. Like, we all eat really well. We eat really healthy, but I've just never had a budget. It's kind of like ignorance is bliss. You know, when like something's probably bad, but you just ignore it because like ignorance is bliss. You just like, if I don't know, then I don't know. Well, I know now. I tracked the last 6 months, and that's like on average how much we were spending. And I just buy whatever because I can, and I'm grateful for that. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. So each week I'm going to focus on meal prep, meal planning, planning our stuff out in advance, shopping our pantry. And I should say this, but we already do those things, like, but I just never paid attention. Typically shop at like Walmart, Costco, Target, Pick and Save. Those are like our 4 big ones. Most of it's at Walmart, but some of the dairy-free things that I need tend to be more expensive, and you can't get them everywhere. So sometimes I kind of have to hunt for those. But my goal for this month is to spend $1,000 and see how that feels. I don't want to set like a specific goal and like get discouraged. So I want to see how that feels over the next few weeks, if it's realistic. Really, I would love to get to 800, but we'll see. This is prioritizing protein, fruits, veggies, whole foods, eating at home.
I just feel like nothing is good anymore. Like, I feel like it's not good like how it was back in the day, like back in the 90s and in the early 2000s. Food, for example. Food. I feel like places like Burger King, McDonald's, right? The places that we used to eat when we were kids. It was so good back in the day. It was so good. I remember getting the kids meal from McDonald's, and I used to get the cheeseburger, and it was so good. Now I'm like, I'm not gonna touch that stuff because it's not good anymore. I just remember being a kid and just like going to these restaurants and things were amazing. I don't know, maybe we were kids and they just always tasted like that, and that's just how it tasted and we were just used to it. Now we're adults and maybe our palates have changed. I don't know.
Something is deliberately wrong with the way work and money feel in America right now. Think about it. You're working harder than ever, everything costs more, and the ground beneath you feels thinner every year. This isn't poor planning. This isn't your fault. It's extraction, engineered and refined over decades. No one mastermind planned it all at once. It happened gradually. Big money bought the rules it needed, little by little, loophole by loophole, merger by merger. Behaviors that extracted the most were rewarded with billions. Behaviors that actually protect people were starved out. I'm not anti-capitalism. Real capitalism, fair competition, rewards for creating value, markets that serve everyone. That's not what we have. What we have is a rigged version that turned capitalism into an extraction machine. Now it does one thing perfectly: pull wealth upward. It's not workers versus owners anymore. Business owners are being bled dry too. It's all of us against this system. Look at the mechanisms. Tax codes written by lobbyists. Your wages taxed immediately and heavily. Their wealth sheltered, deferred, and taxed at half the rate. Private equity vultures buy good companies, load them with debt, strip the assets, fire the workers, raise prices, and then walk away richer when the corpse collapses. Products engineered to break so you buy them again. Jobs tracked and optimized until burnout feels like your failure. Wages calibrated precisely, high enough to keep you from revolting, low enough that one emergency wipes you out. Apps harvesting your data and attention and selling it back as ads and subscriptions. Money printer, reserved for the connected, trillions when their markets wobble, lectures for you when you can't afford rent. This isn't freedom. This isn't efficiency. This is organized theft wearing the costume of markets. It's killing our health, our family, our futures. We've been told this is normal. It's not. Stop pretending. See the machine clearly. Name the theft out loud. Once enough of us see it and understand it the same way, we can decide what comes next. If you're ready to stop calling this normal, comment, "I see it." We begin with agreement.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching this video from. Again, I'm your host and presenter Agent Stories. It reaches a point when you just look at things and say, damn, this is where we've reached, or this is where we never planned to be. But at the end of the day, that's just the truth. That's just the reality of matter, and that's just how it happens. You think of a situation where everything is working against you. Not that you're lazy, or not that you're not doing anything right. You're doing everything right. In fact, that's what America taught its people. You work hard, you get them papers, and that's where life starts, because America is a land of opportunity. It's land for great talents. It's land that rewards talent. But looking at the current cost of living and looking at how the system operates and how it does to its own citizens, looking at all that makes you question a number of things. So in this video, I'm gonna be like sharing people's opinion in what they really say. How do they really feel? Because I think it's much important than what I'm supposed to be saying on you in camera. Just listening to what other people say in regards to what has really happened. People are coming out and sharing how burned out they are. My brother is 58, lost his job and could no longer afford rent and utilities. He's now living in an RV. Thank goodness my sister has a property. It could move to it, but it could cost $3,500 to get it set up for him. At least he has a shelter today. We were blessed to find him an RV that was cheaper, but very lightly used. It's really crazy. I just talked about housing and people paying their rents and how they cannot pay their rents, and it's just crazy. And you know, America keeps you on a roller coaster. The corporations, they keep you on a roller coaster because that's how they benefit from all these things that are happening. So if they have to benefit, that's just what they're gonna do to you. Somebody said that I feel bad for the guy with the dog with the unaliving thoughts. Don't go down that path. Things will get better. Keep your heads up high. Guys, yeah, I know it's crazy. I know all these that are going on and everyone really feeling crazy about it. Destroying them all by getting rid of the cell phone and going back to a landline. Landlines are constitutionally protected. The mere fact that this planet produces anything in abundance, but yet we as humanity are monetarily poor, something is definitely wrong with some of us. Somebody shared, I saw this coming 35 years ago. I started buying land in Belize in 2002. You can live like a king in Belize for $600 a month, and a ticket back to Texas, it's only $650. So many Americans now live in North Belize. I bought 3 water. My taxes are less than $1,000 a year, fixed for a life, and now I own everything. Everything I plant grows. I have so many orchids now too. That's the smartest way of, escaping the matrix and beating the matrix. That's just a smart way of doing it. And they still expect us to vote and celebrate on July 4th. It'll be 250th anniversary party that nobody came to, nor can never be afford the gas to attend, as well as the November midterm elections, where many people will just say, nah, that doesn't work anymore, so why bother? Peter Thiel just left the country and moved him and his family to Argentina. He stated on his way out, the US is going to collapse. I'm guessing that since he is the CEO of the Plantier, he actually knows something that majority of people definitely don't know. Between working, going to school in my 30s, working, being a single mom, working professionally in my field till COVID, then working tourism, retail, burnt out at 52. I finally walked away and live with a very supportive partner who shares my dream. We have a place to go and we'll be building from scratch, going back to my roots in the middle of nowhere. That's just a smart way of, escaping the matrix, and people are trying to escape the matrix by moving out of the United States. I'm over 60 and I'm in Europe, and I'm worried about Americans coming here and expecting life to be so much better. It might be at this moment, but we are heading in the same direction. I can assure you that they want us all into you will own nothing and be happy all over the world. Here in Germany, they are very aggressively making tenants be pissed and at landlords. We rent out people for every affordable price, but most is gone to taxes and rest to maintenance. Nothing is left for us. They are trying to make the young people hate us, but we also worked our asses off and did not buy anything, did not eat out, did not even go on vacations because we had to pay off the housing we rent out now. I feel so very sorry for the young generation since they have no father. They have no future at all. But we, over 61s, we sacrificed our life in order to survive too. And we still cannot retire, folks. Please direct your anger, which is legitimate, towards the ones who are bleeding us all dry. Greed is the problem, and still the game of divide and conquer works. Unfortunately, we should all stand up, no matter what age or where we are from, because this crushes all of us. So please let me know what you'll think about this. Like, what's your opinion in regards to this? What do you have to say about this? Right, as you know, I'm your host and presenter Eugene Stories, but until then, I'm hoping to see you in my next video. Until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.